We're back and we've got some E3 2012 coverage for you coming right up. So E3 is without a doubt the biggest event in the gaming calendar.
Pretty much.
Previous years have been pretty insane with huge announcements. This year's been kind of no different, really.
No, it's been good this year.
A little bit relaxed, I'd say, from previous years, but still a lot of good stuff.
I think we're sort of like in the wind down period as the consoles are reaching the end of their lifespan.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
okay, so we're gonna take some time to talk about some of the things that have happened over the last week or so as regards to E3. There's so much that's happened, so many announcements, so many games, too much to talk about, in fact, in this video. So we're going to kind of keep it to kind of our highlights, the things that have kind of caught our eye a bit, things we want to talk about, basically.
Yeah.
First of all, we're going to kind of touch on the media briefings and kind of discuss the non-gaming related things that have come out of them. The three main ones.
There's actually been surprisingly little this year.
Yeah, true. The three main ones being obviously Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. I think first of all we need to talk about Smart Glass from Microsoft.
Yep.
The big thing that a lot of people have been saying is a kind of something they've announced to steal the thunder from the Wii U a little bit. Yeah. Even though really I can't see quite how they're getting to that conclusion. Smart Glass is basically, for all intents and purposes, an app. I think for kind of for your smartphone, for your tablet. It works with iOS, Android, obviously Windows devices too, and it's kind of adds an extra layer of. I mean, they demoed it kind of more for like when you're watching a movie. This is what useless shit. When you're listening to some music, useless shit. That kind of thing. But they kind of threw together some concepts of what it could be like to use in gaming. The kind of the like planning out your play in Madden, that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool for those people who are into that. The Halo 4 thing, obviously, we'll talk about the game in a bit, but the Halo 4 thing was all concept. It was, we don't know if that's possible. The biggest problem I had with this, and admittedly, when I first saw it, was like, wow, this is kind of cool. I wonder what you can do with that, like how far they'll push that. But when you think about it, if this is compatible with... And the good thing about it is also the bad thing about it. The good thing about it being that you don't have to go out and buy a specific tablet, PC or smartphone for this to work.
Yeah.
You don't have to have, all Windows products, because that's not realistic.
No.
It's products you have sat around. It's your iPads or your iPhones or...
Chances are it's something you've already got
hold of, Android tablet or whatever, But the thing is, that's a lot of different devices with a lot of different technical specs and stuff. So...
It's going to have to be fairly general and generic.
It's going to be very dumbed down. It's basically just, and in some ways I don't want to compare it, but it's kind of like Kinect in a way. It's kind of just another input device.
Yeah.
And that's all it's going to be. And I think those people who are saying, oh, this is going to steal a bit of the, it's a big fuck you to the Wii U and all that, and it's really not going to be that, I don't think.
No.
I think it's going to be, they're going to do some cool things with it, but I think ultimately it is going to be like Kinect, the novelty is going to wear off very quickly, and you're not going to really want to use it.
It's a gimmick. That's all it is. So this is this year's Microsoft gimmick. Kind of, yeah. So. But cool. I mean, I want to see where they go with it. It could be quite interesting. As far as Sony's press conference goes, they didn't really unveil much other than a whole bunch of new IPs from developers that we already know. A lot of good stuff though. Still, there's a lot of spin-offs for the Vita, like the Black Ops game, Declassified I think it is, and the Assassin's Creed 3. Yeah, I like how when he's talking about the Call of Duty game for the Vita, saying how it would be so great to have a AAA title on the Vita, completely ignoring Resistance.
Yeah.
Burning Skies.
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
No. So not a lot other than a whole bunch of content coming to PlayStation Plus for subscribers of that, bunch of new games. And other than that, it was very focused on the actual games itself, but overall pretty good. Nintendo, very, very focused on the Wii U, extremely focused on the Wii U. In fact, there was only about a 4-minute mention for the 3DS, which is a little disappointing. Though they did have a separate thing for that, but it kind of wasn't, they didn't make a big deal out of it.
No.
Kind of felt like 3DS was pushed to the side a little bit. But major focus on the Wii U, and I think the biggest piss take with Nintendo's press conference was that there was no pricing for the actual thing, no release date, none of it. So it was like, here's a bunch of games working on this console that you don't know a lot about. but there's no release dates for any of it because nobody knows when the console's going to be out. We know it's this year, I think. We think it's this year? Is it next year? Yeah, it's this year.
We're hoping this year.
I mean, they haven't got a lot of time to figure all that kind of logistical stuff out, so
no.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah. So
at the end of the day, we're no better off than we were last year when it was
exactly.
unveiled. We know nothing more. We know a little bit more about how the controller works and some of the
I think Microsoft's better off.
Yeah.
Because now they're freaking adding tablets to shit. So.
Yeah, but I have to say, some of the stuff I saw, because they went into more depth of showing what the Wii controller can do and all that, and some of that's pretty exciting and pretty good.
Don't you want to know more?
I do want to know more. I want to know how much it's going to cost.
Other than those things, I mean, they really didn't demo the kind of the thing itself.
No.
I didn't find. But hey, okay, so let's talk about some of the games that caught our eye this year at E3.
There were a lot of games.
Yeah, there were. Unfortunately, I noticed that a lot of the games that were delayed, that have been announced as delayed this year, didn't show up.
Yeah.
Like Bioshock Infinite and Prey 2, games like that. Games I was really looking forward to seeing a lot more of. Bit of a shame, but I guess, they're delayed for a reason. There's a lot of stuff they need to do to those games. They're not ready to kind of show what they're going to show, and that's it so far. But a lot of cool stuff
a lot
to
of
show.
New games
brand new
as
games.
well.
Yeah, I mean, at the top, I just want to mention Dead Space 3 because I'm a big fan of Dead Space.
I knew you were going to mention that.
Or any listener of our show will know that. But what's cool about the unveiling of Dead Space 3 is that now there's co-op mode, which is drop in, drop out kind of online co-op mode. That really, it's not a separate mode. It's built into the campaign so that it works. That if you are playing with like somebody else, it kind of compensates for that as far as cutscenes and the story. It's the same story. It doesn't change too much, but you can play just as Isaac Clarke and have the same kind of Dead Space experience you've had in 1 and 2, which is kind of the way it should be played in some way.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you need an extra pair of hands, then that also works pretty good too. They've talked a little bit about, because obviously they've added a cover system now. It feels very like the generic third-person shooter kind of thing they've tacked in there, but I can see why they've done it. Initially I was a little bit like, but in this game you're fighting humans as well as the alien necromorphs. So the deal there is obviously you need a different kind of gameplay style to deal with those. What's cool is when you kill them, they can be reanimated into necromorphs and come attack you and stuff. They still got the strategic dismemberment stuff, which is kind of the staple
signature.
Of exactly. It's what makes Dead Space basically, and they've added things to that now where depending on what limbs and stuff you blow off, they can mutate into different things. So depending on how you kill them, they can turn into a completely different thing altogether. That's kind of cool. But overall the game looks great. I think one of the biggest surprises, and I know you're going to say the same, is Halo 4.
Halo 4 shocked me.
Yeah.
Simply because I was meh at best.
Well, we're not, we stated on this show, we're not Halo fans.
No.
We're
no reason for it. It's the sort of thing.
I guess we're in the minority or something. I don't know, but
it's the sort of thing I should love. It's space, it's sci-fi, it's aliens, it's adventures, it's shooting.
I think this shows though that obviously Bungie have been, developing Halo since its inception, and now we have like a different take on it. We have a different studio developing it and a kind of fresh perspective on things, and I think that showed, to be honest.
Yeah,
graphically it looked a hell of a lot better than previous Halos.
Absolutely, and just the way the walkthrough was staged, the setting of it. Halo have always been sort of fairly formulaic.
It seemed way more action, way more intense. The AI seemed more smarter, more flanking, more different enemy types, a lot more going on at once. You felt more like you were like dealing with so much at once. It was pretty cool. I mean, maybe that's just that little section of the game, but fuck it, if the whole game's like that, I'd actually play that.
Yeah, I mean,
it actually surprised me.
No Halo game before, apart from before the first one came out, has made me think, I really want to play that.
Definitely.
Halo 4 has got me interested.
I may check it out. We'll see. I'm not saying it. I think also another big surprise. I'm keen on the Splinter Cell series.
Yeah.
And when they showed off the trailer for Blacklist and then showed off the gameplay, like they had a little demo and stuff. It looks good. It looks very, very good. I mean, it kind of like you mentioned. It was kind of like because there's been nothing leaked about this, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I noticed. But you mentioned that you brought up the thing when we watched it, is that it looks like kind of a bit more the old school Splinter Cell, a lot more stealthy. Then it has like stuff from like the recent ones, like Conviction and stuff. just looks crazy. Just so much cool action stuff. Once again, really good implementation of the Kinect voice control stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very limited on the Kinect stuff as far as Microsoft Conference overall, but a few games were using the voice command stuff, which is cool.
I think that's going to be here to stay. I think
that's something that's developers are kind of getting more into now.
I think the Better with Kinect has become its own brand now.
Yeah. So that looks great. Can't wait to play that. Far Cry 3 looks great. They announced something at Sony's press conference that they've kind of been building 2 games, and that one of them is obviously the single player campaign, and they've got 4-player co-op mode.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's exclusive to PS3. I don't think so. But I'm pretty sure
co-op mode will be available for everyone.
So, but that looks pretty cool as well. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Dead Island in some ways, even though you're not fighting zombies and stuff. It's kind of weird. But Far Cry 3 looks totally fucked up.
Yeah. I mean,
crazy but cool.
One thing I kind of like about the Far Cry series is all the games are really different from each other. Like Far Cry 2 was completely different setting, completely different story to the first one. And this follows suit, whereas the second one was more sort of like military, sort of guns for hire and all that sort of jazz. This kind of has kind of a thriller element to it, like a psychological.
Yeah, it's got a lot. It looks like it's got a real major twist to it, so I'm interested to see what that is. Obviously, a game that you're very excited to see more of. You've obviously been kind of drooling over it for a long time. Is Assassin's Creed 3?
Yes, I'm a big fan of the Assassin's Creed series, and I'm loving what they've shown this year at E3. I mean, I think the biggest surprise for me was the naval combat.
Yeah,
being able to captain a ship and go through the Caribbean, and the visuals of it just look amazing. The fact that you're on the bridge of this ship, you're at the wheel, you're steering where it goes, and everything looks amazing. And then you get into combat, and it's kind of ship combat and all that, and then the weather changes and everything, and it's just amazing. What has struck me, I think, the most about Assassin's Creed 3 is when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, there was definite improvements over the original game.
Yeah.
But with Brotherhood and Revelations, they've kind of just tweaked on that. They felt
minimal,
like
I think because this is the third in the kind of major trilogy of
this actually
the other
feels
two
like
are kind of more spin-offs, and this now they feel like they need to make a big jump in.
Yeah, and they've done, and the mechanics change. I mean, the normal gameplay element of it, I mean, the combat seems much faster. You can do running assassinations now.
Cool.
There's one bit where you had to kind of like climb through the trees and up rock faces to get into this fort, and then you could set a distraction and run to the guy that you were targeting, and as you ran to him, he was running away. And you kind of there was this bit where you run past a gun rack, and you picked up a rifle with a bayonet, and there was a guy there to stop you, and you kind of ran him through.
Nice.
And just kept running after your target, and then leapt off and just jammed it into him.
Crazy shit.
But it looks amazing. So excited. I think this is probably my most anticipated game of the year.
Shocker.
I know.
Crysis 3. EA showed that off. Looks like Crysis 2.
It does. It looks a lot like Crysis 2.
I mean, Crytek made a statement saying, if it's broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. Like, you know, it was a success. It was the most pirated game of the year. It was all sorts of stuff like that, and stuff that was kind of a bit negative, but it was popular even with the pirates. And so, you know, Crysis 3, why not? I mean, it's more what they're doing with the actual game more than the engine. I mean, people focus too much on the engine, the graphics and stuff. It looks great. It's still one of the best looking console games.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
And honestly, it's I mean, what they showed looked crazy action packed. You know, everything we come to expect from Crysis and more, really. So looking forward to that. I mean, it's
it's just like a continuation of the story.
Exactly.
Really. It's what happened next.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I love Crysis 2, and I can't wait to see more. Something I haven't been that fussed about until seeing this was Resident Evil 6.
I know, how shocking is that?
It seems like what they've done is kind of made it a bit more. It does feel like Gears of War a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, another game trying to
faster paced action.
Yeah, but I could get behind that a little more than the kind of slower paced Resident Evil 5. And so I could probably, and the graphics look great. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Really surprised. I didn't think much of. You know, I'm kind of a bit down on Resident Evil, but that actually kind of made me feel, I fucking might play that. You know.
I don't think I will, because I still don't like scary games, and I still think they're going to be.
I think it's going to be. I think it's a slightly different direction for the series to take. I'd say more action orientated, more you know, a bit more, you know, a little bit more Gears of War-ish, but still, you know, that's not so much a bad thing. I think it'll do it a bit of justice, maybe.
One of the games I need to talk about, and the trailer for it came out just a little bit before E3, is Injustice: Gods Among Us, which is made by NetherRealm, creators of
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. It is, for all intents and purposes, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe without the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much it. But it actually looks... I mean, not that Mortal Kombat vs DC is not that... It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
No.
This looks better, but that's just from what we've seen.
Yeah, it's sort of improved visuals. They've taken this whole style of it. They've really kind of built up and ramped up the whole 2.3D combat.
Yeah, thing. I think if it's anything like last year's Mortal Kombat, there's going to be shit hot. It's going to be good.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be less gruesome.
Yeah,
and there's going to be no fatalities, but you know,
you got to expect that.
Superman punching someone into space and then going up there and knocking him back down to Earth. That's always awesome.
Good enough for you. So I think one of the biggest surprises to come out of the Nintendo conference was Pikmin 3.
That looks amazing.
That's pretty cool.
It's probably...
It's not going to sell me a Wii U, though, to be fair.
No.
But 10 years since the last game, and now, I'm guessing it's going to be a launch title. No one said shit about any of that, but, they'd do well for it to be a launch title, I think. I think it would help sell.
I wish it was multi-platform, because I would love to play that, but like you said, I don't think it's enough to...
It's not enough. I don't think that alone is enough to make people... I don't know, maybe some people go out and buy a Wii U, but the just general people, I don't think so. But still, very cool news. I mean, Pikmin 3, people have been wanting this for fucking years. I mean, literally 10 years.
It just looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it did look really cool. It's good to see, obviously, good use of the Wii U hardware at work.
Another shocker, I think, was the South Park, The Stick of Truth RPG.
Yeah, I mean, there's rumblings of this kind of about 6 months ago. THQ were in, they all talked about it.
And it's kind of like other network cartoons have done similar things. I mean, there's been Simpsons games, there's been Family Guy games, and none of them have really kind of done the shows justice.
Not really an RPG though.
No.
Based off of those, so this is kind of new territory. This is kind of scary.
But Matt Stone and Trey Parker were actually at E3 to present this and talk about it, and they said the only way that they'd do it is if they could make it look like an episode. And oh my god, have they done that? Yeah, it really does look.
I used to be a really big fan of stuff, but I haven't really watched it in a long time. But this looks pretty cool. It looks like a lot of fun. So, and if it's going to be as fucked up and crazy as the show, then I can see this doing well, because obviously a lot of fans of the show still. I mean, it's still going.
Yeah.
I mean, so
however many years.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I think it doesn't come out till like March of next year or something. Yeah. So there's a bit of a wait for it, but I think it's going to do really, really well. I think it's going to be awesome. A game that kind of shocked us from last year's E3, that we've been so excited to see more of, is Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
and holy shit, does that look good?
Yeah, it's been pushed back to next year, which is good.
It's fine. It looks amazing. It looks ready to ship personally, but there you go.
Yeah.
What they showed us of it, brutal combat. I mean, there's an E3 trailer that came out a little bit before the E3 started, but showed a lot of kind of Lara Croft getting the living shit kicked out of her.
It's much darker.
Yeah.
It's
the execution with the arrow, and that's just...
I mean, Tomb Raider's kind of got a reputation of being a bit campy now, a bit sexualised, and what they've done is they've sort of really grown up, made it grow up. It's got a darker tone. They've desexualised her, which in some ways have actually made her more sexy.
Yeah, it didn't really work there. But other than that, I mean, it is really. I don't know. I can't wait to play it. I really
proper gunning for Uncharted.
Yeah,
seriously.
Definitely. Yeah, taking a lot of influence from there. But hey, that's kind of where it's kind of almost the roots of Uncharted in some ways. It's kind of where it came from. So that's cool. Yeah, Tomb Raider looks great. Can't wait for that. A game that we've been down on previously, Medal of Honor. They're back with a sequel, I guess. Medal of Honor Warfighter, which we've mentioned on the podcast back when we did a podcast.
The good old days.
Yeah, and it's the game that kind of ships in between the battlefields now. Yeah. I guess. It looks good. It's running on the new Frostbite 2 engine.
It actually looks fun.
It actually looks you know, they've taken a bit more of a leaf out of Call of Duty's book and kind of made it a bit more over the top, a little bit more action set PC, and that's kind of cool. I mean, but it did look good. It looked nice. It was you know, a good looking game, which I mean, obviously, like the big joke we made about the first Medal of Honor was it's a cave simulator and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So no caves. That's good. So drop that off the list. But you know, it does look good. It looks more fun. I probably will play it.
Yeah.
Just to see what it's all
about.
What
I do kind of like is the fact that you'll be able to sort of play as special forces from the various countries involved.
So hopefully no two levels are too similar. If you know what I'm saying.
So you can be like the Navy SEALs, you can be the SAS, and you can be the various other
whatever else there is
things. But
So I mean, obviously I'm hoping they've taken a lot of the criticism from their first game on board and done a lot about it. I'm going to give them another chance, and I probably will play this and just see how good it is. Obviously, we can't mention that without mentioning Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Here's the thing, not that impressed, but then saying that every E3 the last few years, you know, I mean, 2010 when they unveiled Black Ops, you had that awesome level of in the tunnels, they pop out, they kind of sneak around, a bit of flanking, killing some people, get in the fucking helicopter, blow some shit up. That was a really cool demo. Really cool demo.
Yeah.
Last year's Modern Warfare 3 demo didn't impress me, but I played the game and I enjoyed the game. I thought it was really good. It was better than I thought because the demo didn't really seem to do it justice. I feel kind of a bit sort of a bit in between about this one. Obviously, futuristic setting, they're kind of trying to do new things with it. You know, but it's still kind of the stale. I'll still play it. People still play it. It'll still sell loads. It would probably still be better than most people think it'll be.
I think the problem this one's facing is Black Ops kind of broke the mould for Call of Duty.
It was the one Call of Duty that stood out.
Yeah, I think you said it was the
Manchurian Candidate.
Candidate of the game
compared to a light.
And you know, it's got the same writer on it. It's going to be a continuation of the story.
Yeah.
So how will it follow up? It's got a lot to live up to because the original Black Ops was so sort of left field.
Yeah.
So
I think the thing that makes me laugh, but obviously with Treyarch, they did a really good multiplayer with Black Ops, a lot of different game modes. I know that they're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I saw a lot of multiplayer stuff from Black Ops 2 the other day, and it kind of they are doing a lot of cool stuff with that. But I think the one thing they're trying to emphasise too much on is this kind of the path you can take in certain levels. You can snipe or you could repel. The end result's exactly the same. It's not really. They're kind of bringing it to you. Oh, you have this choice, and it's like, well, no, you kind of don't really.
No.
It's not like this big, kind of deep, important choice like you get in an RPG. You choose this affects the whole outcome of the game, kind of thing. It's kind of, and they're not making it out to be like, but they are making a big deal out of it. And it kind of makes me laugh a bit.
It's more sort of catering to your play style. I mean, I personally play shooters.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. That's what's cool about it. But you know, and that's what they're going for. But they really seem to be putting a lot of emphasis on it, and it kind of, in the way that kind of makes me kind of laugh because it's like. It's not that much of an option, to be fair. You know, you're still shooting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hey. So, obviously, we can't talk about E3 without mentioning Gears of War Judgment.
Well, you can't.
Basically, you know, news broke quite early on this. I don't know if it was leaks or whether it was just purposely put out there, but another Gears of War game, kind of a spin-off, a prequel, actually, if anything. You know, lots of details emerged about it. This is from Epic Games and People Can Fly. They're kind of one of the companies they bought who did games like Painkiller. They also did fucking Bulletstorm, which I didn't like too much. But they also did the really cool PC port of the first Gears, so
yeah,
they know Gears of War, so this could be good. Gears of War Judgment, a very short kind of 45-second trailer that didn't really show much. It kind of shows you the characters and a little bit of this and stuff, but
it's a Baird's tale.
Oh god. Really? Okay. Yeah,
sorry.
That's horrible. Anyway, so oh god, I can't believe you did that. So anyway, we've you know, they've mainly been showing off multiplayer.
Yeah. And
the game modes and stuff, different things they've got. Some of that looks cool. It looks like Gears 3. There's nothing really going on as far as the engine. It's not Unreal 4. I mean, we're not going to get that this gen, I'm guessing. It looks fine. I mean, you know, they're not showing off a lot of campaign. It is mostly multiplayer at this point. So I can't really say too much about it, really. It just looks like Gears 3.
Yeah, I don't think we were expecting too many sort of leaps and bounds, considering it was only Gears 3 only came out
Well, yeah, last year. I mean, so
yeah. So
and this has been in development for a while, I'm guessing. So it's kind of interesting.
It'll be like the Assassin's Creed yearly outings type thing, whereas it'll be probably very similar game, but telling a different story. So, but it's not too bad. We get to see more of the universe, and it kind of carries on a bit.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit before the first game, so that'd be interesting. So another game that's caught my eye a little bit, and kind of kind of interesting. The PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale,
which is basically Super Smash Brothers on the PlayStation.
Yeah, free version PlayStation. No, it's cool though. I mean, they've shown it off. They're not being too coy about it. They've shown it off, and they've got at the moment they've got 8 characters. There's loads more apparently that they've not spoken about. With the addition of now Nathan Drake and the Big Daddy from BioShock, and it looks a hell of a lot of fun. It does look really, really cool. It's on Vita as well, and there's cross-play, which is cool.
Yeah. Another
good
reason. If you went out and bought a Vita, then,
this exactly. It is, for all intents, but it is Smash Bros. But it's kind of cool. I like what they're doing with it. I watched something earlier about because it's all PlayStation properties. The kind of levels, the backgrounds and stuff, they're like a mashup of 2 different properties and stuff.
Yeah.
So you get like the main bit that comes out, this is God of War, but then it turns into fucking Patapon or something.
I saw that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but what I thought was really cool was the Little Big Planet level. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
How fucking cool is that? Where it just builds platforms and stuff, just as if you were playing Little Big Planet and you can jump on.
I have a feeling that Sackboy may be.
Yeah, there's apparently a load of characters they've not announced yet.
Yeah.
So
like I said, with the inclusion of the Big Daddy, he's not an exclusive PlayStation thing.
No,
so
but
the scope
still,
is there.
Exactly. So that's cool. I actually think it's if you're a PlayStation 3 owner and you're kind of into these kind of games, I can see this selling a shit ton.
See, the thing is, I love Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
It is fun.
I will probably be picking this up.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah. What's funny is there's a Buzz level. Buzz them.
Yeah.
Halfway through the fight, it asks you a question, right? And then you jump to like a specific platform or whatever for your answer.
Yeah. And
then you have to kind of fight for the. That's
cool.
That's really cool. So I think there's a lot of fun to be had with that game. It does look really, really good. So obviously you want to talk about this next game.
Yeah. Now we're kind of getting to the more hardcore games.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sort of the one I think I was probably most interested in was there was a lot of rumblings that Quantic Dream, the developers of Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy, depending where you're from, and Heavy Rain, they'll be unveiling their new game. They did that Kara Tech demo a little while ago. And so I was interested in this, and oh my god, Beyond Two Souls, so getting this. I think
OMG
Mofo but
it looks good.
It
I
does
haven't played Heavy Rain yet. I still want to play Heavy Rain, so that's kind of.
But it's just the facial animation. I mean, they've got Ellen freaking Page playing the main character.
I noticed. I mean, I don't want to talk about it, like fucking get to the next game too soon, but they kind of dropped her from one game and fucking added her to another. It almost seems. Yeah. So, but anyway, the Beyond Two Souls looks cool.
Yeah, it does, and I'm expecting good things. Apparently you play through about 15 years of her life.
It looks fucking mad. Like,
it does.
I didn't quite. I was kind of zoning out as if I was watching this because I only caught really like little bits of it, but I didn't quite get what the story. She's got powers and shit, I guess.
I think she talks to dead people.
That's
or a dead person, and it kind of manifests as telekinetic powers and stuff.
Mental. So it looks fucking awesome. If you're a PS3 owner, there's a fucking high chance you're going to get this game. There's such a high caliber of PS3 game at the moment. It does feel like everything else is getting left behind. Which brings us to The Last of Us, really. The new game from Naughty Dog, who obviously are developers of Uncharted series and various other games, but this looks good. It does look good.
I had a feeling.
I hate how good it looks. Like it does. I mean, obviously, was it unveiled at like VGA or something, like a trailer and stuff? Yeah.
It's the first time we've actually seen gameplay of it.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. A lot of like tech stuff going on behind. I saw an interview with one of the developers the other day, and he's just going on about how like the game is like behind the scenes. Obviously, the stuff you can't see going on is always thinking about what you're doing and what's around you and stuff.
Yeah.
And so the game changes depending on your actions in the game. So Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're showing some gameplay of that at the moment. It just looks fucking crazy. The bit where you kind of run out of bullets and she throws the brick, just fucking got me. I don't know, like that's just too cool.
It's a lot more brutal,
yeah,
than Uncharted ever was.
It's way more brutal than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
they're fucking smashing heads and stuff.
Yeah, this is one I will be picking up, and I have a feeling that you'll be overplaying a fair amount of.
Yeah, fuck yeah, definitely.
Maybe we can work something out. You can borrow my PS3.
So we have kind of mentioned like there's not much of an excuse to go out and buy hardware. Some of these games I think are going to push hardware, like the last two that we talked about. But I think the one main game for Wii U that's definitely I think a reason or a possible reason that people might find to buy it is Zombie U.
It's a proper hardcore game.
It's a fucking stupid title, but this showed up last year at E3, but it was called Killer Freaks from Outer Space or some shit, and it was just kind of a tech demo at the time, but they've developed it into, they've got rid of the Killer Freaks and now they're zombies. But it looks fucking cool. Obviously, you know, it doesn't feel, the thing with the gamepad and everything doesn't feel gimmicky. It feels like that's a proper use for that.
Yeah, because you can't.
Multiple uses for the gamepad, and
to access certain things, you need to look down at the gamepad, and of course, while you're looking down at the gamepad,
shit can be going on.
Zombies can come up, and you can like look up and. What was the one where you had a scanner?
Yeah,
you're holding it up and you're scanning things, and then the zombie jumped up. And
yeah, no, I mean, I'm hoping. Well, if the game's just all like that, that'd be kind of shit. But like, I can see that adds a whole new dimension to the gameplay. You're taking your eyes off the screen to do something else within the game, and literally taking your eyes off the game, which is fucked up, man.
Which is kind of what a zombie game should be like. You're trying to survive, and there should be moment, and it creates tension. So this is quite shocking. I love it.
Yeah, it does.
I'm never going to play it.
I mean, I don't know if it's enough to push the Wii U hardware, but I can see people who do buy a Wii U will probably be getting this and Pikmin 3. And you know, they're obviously two very different games, two kind of ends of the spectrum there. But
it's cool.
It's not going to hurt Wii U sales. This game.
No, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff unveiled for Wii U, and there is a lot of variety there.
Definitely,
both sort of hardcore and I was going to say softcore, but casual gamers.
So, I'm not a massive fan of racing games, but I'm more of an arcade racer kind of fan, and so I like a lot of Criterion game stuff like Burnout, and obviously did Need for Speed Hot Pursuit a few years ago.
Yeah.
Great. They're back with Most Wanted, Need for Speed Most Wanted,
which is a kind of amalgam of Hot Pursuit and Burnout Paradise.
It's open world like Burnout Paradise. It has the autolog feature that was featured in Hot Pursuit. But I love the idea of being most wanted amongst your friends.
Yeah.
That pushing that challenge, and it was kind of like there was that challenge with Hot Pursuit, but it wasn't quite so. Being most wanted, that's fucking cool. They've really tapped into something there, and it's going to be like Burnout Paradise in the way that you've got loads of like other things you can do, little side quests and things you can collect, but like smash up in your car. I loved Burnout Paradise. I've had so much fun playing that game, and yet, I've barely fucking tapped half of what was in that game. Like, as far as like percentage completed and stuff. So, but I'm excited. This comes out in October, so it's not that long. And
no,
yeah, another Criterion game, another Need for Speed Criterion game, more than welcome.
And it helps that it looks amazing.
Oh yeah, let's just talk about that for a second. It looks fucking awesome.
Gorgeous game.
It does look really good. Their engine's really, really good.
Driving down the streets and going through the alleys and everything, it's...
Yeah, it looks really nice. I mean, I don't know, obviously didn't come across as far as the videos, but I guess in the frame rate's pretty nice as well. They do usually have a nice kind of 60 frames a second, which is nice in a racing game as well. So, you can get that kind of, the kind of illusion of speed a bit more, that's good. So a game that you want to talk a little bit about.
Talk about nice looking games.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a bit of this. I'm not as excited as you are for it because I'm not really into this so much.
Star Wars 1313, there was a lot of kind of hints that it was going to be announced and be shown off, and I was really not excited at all. And then I saw gameplay of it, and I'm like, that was surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some gameplay. I'm guessing it's the same gameplay. It did look kind of. It was very actiony. A lot of, it seemed more
Uncharted in the Star Wars universe.
That's fucked up. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't think of that until you just said it, but yeah, it does seem that way.
But
That's cool.
It's obviously built in-house at LucasArts. Lucas Games. It's Industrial Light and Magic and Skywalker Sound and all that, and it looked phenomenal, just the lighting and the frame rate and everything. Now they built the demo specifically for PC, running high-end DirectX 11, so I don't know how that would work on consoles. I have a feeling that this might be
PC only,
could be PC only, or
dumbed down to fuck for console,
or maybe a really early footage of a next-gen game.
Possibly. Who knows? Speaking of awesome games running on PC,
this came out of nowhere.
So right at the end of the Ubisoft conference, there was just this kind of, and now we're going to show you a new IP.
Yeah.
And it was like,
it happens.
And they just showed, it was kind of really like, what the fuck is this? You know, when they started showing the gameplay, it was like, oh, okay, this looks awesome for a start. Let's just, I mean, they set the whole premise up. Watch Dogs is obviously what we're talking about. I'm showing some footage at the moment. This game was running. The CEO of Ubisoft said that, you know, it was running on a high-end PC. It's kind of a look at what next gen's going to be like. So they do have plans to bring it out on consoles eventually, because obviously it's in the early stages still.
Yeah.
Whether or not that is, they're going to try and sort of get it out for 360 and PS3, or they're going to wait for next gen. I think they should wait for next gen.
Yeah, nothing's been officially announced. I think there are rumblings that it'll be out on 360 and PS3, but I personally hope...
I hope they wait till next gen, because that would be pretty cool. Anyway, you talk about what we saw, because I can still get my head around it. It's pretty fucked up.
It was just unlike anything I've seen before. I mean, it started up kind of like a cut scene. You think, okay, yeah, this is a nice video, and then suddenly the heads-up display kicks in.
This is all an engine.
This is an engine. Yeah. There's a guy just walking down the street. There's a HUD map, kind of like, reminded me of GTA.
Yeah, it all kind of felt like that to begin with.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, when you play games like GTA, it's like you're supposed to get the feel of this living, breathing city, and you never quite get that. But with this, I felt like this actually felt very realistic,
photorealistic,
scarily realistic.
I mean, I was showing this video to people, and they're looking at it and thinking, this looks just like a movie. And the whole thing is, you basically play a guy, we don't know what the story is, but he seems to have this target in the demo, and various ways of getting to him, and you can like hack phones.
Everything's hackable.
Everything's hackable. And basically you investigate and find things out and interact with the world, but it just looks amazing.
But there's also that hint right at the end that there were other people in the world that either other players who can help you out, and you know, or that you play as. I'm hoping it's kind of, sort of, in some ways, massively multiplayer.
Yeah.
That yes, you play as this other character, but other people can join your game and fucking do things to help you out and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing like that. There was kind of a lot of speculation on it, but holy shit, it looks amazing. It looks really, really cool, and I hope they do bring it out for next gen, because I think that kind of experience they need to wait for that. You know?
Yeah,
I think this isn't something they rush out and put on current gen, because it will be dumbed down. It won't look quite so nice, and they'll probably lose a whole bunch of really cool stuff that we saw.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but yeah, no, fucking out of everything, I think that is probably the biggest surprise, one of the biggest things, most important things I think we've seen at E3 this year, and it's one of the first few things we've seen that could kind of hint at what next gen's going to be like, which is the big thing now, because we're getting so close to the end of these console lifespans. You know, we are kind of hungering for that next gen stuff, so it's interesting.
And if this is what early next gen is going to look like, God knows what it's going to be like a few years in.
Who the fuck knows? It's crazy shit.
But
yeah, so that pretty much concludes our E3 coverage. We didn't get the chance to talk about everything. Kind of didn't get a chance to talk about everything we wanted to, really.
No.
Kind of narrowed it down to quite a long list, but still a lot smaller than that we actually wanted to talk about. But we will be on our good friends, the Underground Geek Network. They're doing an E3 special. We will be on that show, which should be out next week at some point. And hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about more of the stuff we didn't get a chance to talk about today in this video. So much stuff's happening. It's the thing with E3 is, last year when we were doing E3 coverage, we did 3 separate audio podcasts, one a day while the event was going on, and it's only like 5 hours of just us talking about E3 stuff. So rather than us having a 5-hour video, we'll kind of save a little bit of that for the UGN guys. So check them out anyway, undergroundgeeknetwork.com, and check out their next episode. It should be coming out next week. We should be on that E3 special. Okay, we've also got a lot of other stuff planned for the near future. A few game nights we're kind of working out what we're going to do for game night. We've also got the Halloween special, the third and final live Halloween special on Halloween, 31st of October, strangely enough. So that's going to be good.
Yeah.
A 4 or 5 hour live experience, as we're going to kind of coin the term. We've got loads of stuff coming up. Keep an eye out for it. You can check us out at thegames4all.tumblr.com. Finally got the blog up and running, and you can also check us out at youtube.com/Games4all and facebook.com/Games4all, and our Twitter is @Games4all. Pretty much all the places you can find us. All our content's on there from when we actually did a podcast, and now we're kind of a blog. But you're going to be posting some trailers and videos and stuff on Facebook and our blog.
As you're watching this, I'll be posting up some of our favourite trailers from E3 and stuff that we've shown here, the full trailers on there, and giving a few extra little thoughts on it.
Excellent. So be sure to check us out at our Tumblr blog and also on our good friend's site, undergroundgeeknetwork.com.
.com.
Thanks again for watching. Goodbye.
Goodbye.